News at 4.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us on the KRON 4 Morning News. I'm Robin Winston. Let's check in on the forecast. It's been foggy along the coast, but pretty toasty inland. So we have Mabrisa Rodriguez standing by with a look at what we can expect. Good morning.
Good morning. And yeah, thanks to the low clouds and fog, that's helping to keep our temperatures relatively mild along the coast. But we are in for a big warm up later this week into the weekend, where I'm tracking triple-digit heat as we head inland. So enjoy this June gloom, because it is keeping us relatively mild for now and right about average for this time of year. So here is a live look outside, believe it or not, in the East Bay overlooking Berkeley. Plenty of dense low and high cloud cover, and Storm Tracker 4 is showing that marine layer widespread, and temperatures right now in the low to mid and even upper 50s. Novato 50 degrees. You are waking up to the coolest air mass out of everyone, though. Upwards of 5 degrees cooler. Everyone else just a degree or two cooler than where you were around this time yesterday morning. Current wind speeds right now breezy along San Francisco in the downtown area, and even for Oakland in the East Bay and Concord. But Fairfield, 25-mile-per-hour sustained winds. Fortunately, this is an onshore flow, so it is coming from the sea to the land, and that's what's going to keep our temperatures relatively mild to start off our morning. But future wind gusts will show right along the coast. I'm tracking another round of double-digit wind speeds, so it is going to be a little bit breezier with gusts upwards of 30 miles per hour or less, specifically around the North Bay and even downtown San Francisco, until we start to notice calmer conditions tonight during the overnight hours. Wake Up Planner forecast is going to show partly cloudy skies to start out the morning, but then plenty of sunshine by the afternoon. Inland areas warming up into the mid-80s, but along the coast, low to mid 60s, but a warming trend will begin after today. More coming up in my full forecast. Good morning, Robin.
Good morning, Mabrisa. No reports of any major problems out there. Checking in on your commute into San Francisco. Now, I noticed this morning when I was driving across the Bay Bridge that bridge work is underway again this morning. On the eastern span, crews have the 2 left lanes coned off. Now, yesterday that caused an early backup during the 4 o'clock hour, so we'll see if that happens again today. Right now, traffic getting by without a delay, but there is also a high wind advisory in place for the Bay Bridge, so just watch your speed coming in. Over to 92, checking in on your ride out of Hayward to the peninsula. Looking good, moving well. No big trouble spots here. We're just under 15 minutes. 880 out to 101. 580 west to the Richmond-Santerfeld Bridge. Hot spot free, wide open with no problems to worry about. 8 minutes, that's good, from the tolls to the 101 connector. Taking a peek at Traffic Tracker, these numbers are on time. If you take Highway 4, we're up to 13 minutes now, rolling west, Antioch to Concord. 680 looks really good so far. Rolling south from Dublin to Fremont. No problems for the southbound Nimitz Freeway, and no problems for 101. If you're leaving San Jose this morning, it's just under 30 minutes northbound to make it into Menlo Park. I'll have another look at traffic coming up in just a bit. New this morning, a person was found dead on the right-hand shoulder of northbound 101 in San Jose. CHP says the body was found at around 1 a.m. this morning, just north of the Story Road exit. Officials have not released how the person died. Over to the East Bay, 1 person is dead and 3 children are injured after being involved in a deadly accident. Now, this happened last night in the city of Concord at around 6:30 near Parkside Drive and Concord Boulevard. Police say several people called 911 to report the crash. When officers arrived, they say the driver in the white car was dead. 3 children in the gray SUV, all under the age of 10, were hurt. They were taken to Children's Hospital in Oakland, and so far no word on their condition. The crash is still under investigation.
I sat down on the street. I was covered with blood. I must have sat there for a few minutes, sort of just inarticulately screaming, "Help, help." There was blood everywhere.
A big story we're tracking out of the East Bay and also here in San Francisco. 2 violent attacks that may have targeted gay men. KRON 4's J.R. Stone spoke with one of the victims, who says he was hit in the head with either a tire iron or crowbar.
I suddenly felt this massive blow to the back of my head. I mean, it really sent me forward reeling.
Scott Long is describing the moments he was attacked as he walked home in the Laurel neighborhood of Oakland.
He immediately hit me with the thing again on the side of the head. My glasses went flying. I was just standing there screaming. I was kind of frozen. I took another blow in the face, maybe a third blow to the face, I'm not sure, and blow across the neck.
Long's jaw was so badly damaged that he had to have reconstructive surgery where doctors used metal plates. He also lost several teeth. We've blurred out part of this picture because it is so graphic. Long is an LGBTQ human rights activist who has worked all across the world. He's one of at least 2 gay men in recent weeks who have been attacked in the Bay Area. He doesn't know if this was a hate crime and doesn't know why someone came after him.
I mean, I don't know how to say this, but it almost felt like a case of mistaken identity. I think when I was standing there, I was screaming, "Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? What are you doing?" and crying. And it was partly because I just thought he was enraged at something that I represented, and I was trying to say, I'm not that. I'm not that. I'm not who you think I am. Who knows?
Long thinks that society as a whole needs to address the problem of both violence and mental illness.
We need to work systematically on making this a less angry, less violent society. And I wish I hadn't walked there, but I feel if I hadn't, somebody else would have been attacked. And given that I, survived, maybe it's better that it was me.
That was KRON 4's J.R. Stone reporting. Scott Long says he wants people to be careful in the short term, but in the long term, he says he feels the city needs to address the violence problem.
Hey! Foot pursuit. Adam 13, David.
We now know the name of the officer who shot a suspect in the back in San Francisco's North Beach neighborhood. Officer Joshua Cabillo, a 5-year veteran, was part of a group of officers who approached 4 men on June 9th. Now, when one of the men started to run away, the officer opened fire, saying the suspect had a gun. A handgun was later recovered at the scene, and police say the men were seen earlier with an open container of alcohol. The suspect, Oliver Bacinas, was shot in the back, and he remains in the hospital. Over to the East Bay now. 2 men brazenly robbed an AT&T store while a customer was inside. Now police need your help catching those thieves. Now this happened last night on Arnold Drive near Morello Avenue in the city of Martinez. KRON 4's Ali Reed has the story and explains how they were able to get away with thousands of dollars worth of merchandise.
Surveillance photos show the 2 men allegedly responsible for robbing this AT&T store of tens of thousands of dollars worth of merchandise.
Talking phones, it sounds like accessories. I haven't even been able to go through the whole property list yet and see, but we're up near $50,000 as of right now, and I'm going to still reach out to their loss prevention and get an exact number.
Also gone, about $180 from the register. Initially, this man walked in, looking at phones and asking questions. Minutes later, his accomplice strolls in. Then they force the employee to the back.
I think that's pretty bold and brazen.
It may have been questionable to a customer that walked in during the robbery as to why this supposed man wearing an employee shirt and saggy pants was assisting. Well, according to PD, while both men were in the stockroom with the real employee,
puts on the employee shirt, makes the employee take the shirt off, puts a shirt on, and goes out and represents himself, I'm assuming, as the employee. We don't know what happened during that time, so we're actually hoping that this will reach that customer that came in and go, oh, that guy represented himself as an employee there, and he was a suspect in this.
Detectives on the case say they've never seen anything like this before, but the AT&T staff member may have been under duress.
This employee has no idea what they're going to do to him. They're saying they have a gun.
Police say this robbery happened about half hour before closing. They're now comparing other robberies at this exact location in addition to a nearby Verizon store to see if there are any similarities. Reporting from Martinez, Ali Reed, KRON 4 News.
Police are still shaken up after a shootout led to a car chase, a foot chase, 3 arrests, and 1 suspect being shot. The incident happened at around 11:30 yesterday at the intersection of East Street and Railroad Avenue in Union City. Officers say they attempted to pull over a vehicle that was reported stolen. Now, when 3 male teenagers in the car started shooting at them, that's when things took a turn. A gun battle ensued. 2 of the teens ran away. The driver sped off. Officers were able to stop him about a quarter of a mile away, where he then ran away again. Now, eventually, all 3 juveniles were found and arrested.
It's a brazen act to shoot at police officers, for these kids to exchange gunfire with our police officers. That is really uncommon in Union City.
Union City police say that they were surprised how young these suspects are for such a bold crime. 2 of them are 16 and 1 just 15 years old. Happening today amid a potential trade war, lawmakers will meet this morning at 6 a.m. They are hoping to learn details about the president's approach on trade. Reporter Andrew Spencer gives us a preview of what's to come.
At the New York Stock Exchange, floor traders have watched the Dow fall for the last 6 days amid the threat of a trade war.
It's escalating a little bit quicker than we thought. We hoped there was going to be some negotiation between the president and China. We're not really seeing that, so that's what kind of spooked the market.
President Donald Trump doubled down this week, insisting the U.S. gets a bad deal when it comes to international trade.
We have to change our ways. We can no longer be the stupid country. We want to be the smart country.
And if China goes through with its retaliatory tariffs, Trump warns he'll impose tariffs on another $200 billion worth of Chinese goods. Once again, Beijing promising to respond on an equal scale. Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross will testify before the Senate Finance Committee this morning, talking about the proposed tariffs and those that are already due to take force soon. Committee Chair Senator Orrin Hatch.
I'm not a big fan of tariffs. I think it's a mistake. I think the president's got to wake up and realize that's not the way to go.
The first changes don't happen until July, but there has already been an impact from the increased economic tensions between the U.S. and China. According to a report released today by the research firm Rhodium Group, in the first 5 months of this year, Chinese investment in the United States dropped to its lowest level in 7 years. I'm Andrew Spencer reporting.
Coming up next on the KRON 4 Morning News, victims of the North Bay firestorms are ready to take on PG&E, the powerhouse lawyer who's representing them. Plus, protests against immigration and family separation continues across the country. Now opponents of the policy are rallying right here in the Bay Area. Also coming up after the break, another dead whale has been found washed ashore on a Bay Area beach. The difference this time around, the species of the whale. And a live look outside at 92. Calm and quiet this morning, leaving Hayward over to the peninsula. No reports of any major trouble spots, so we're off to a great start. Just a little foggy out there. We'll take a look at your Wednesday forecast after the break.